Midbis, are you really that bored? Who gave you the remote anyway? You'll have your chance later. Don't you worry. Okay, I'm sure that most of you are surprised to see Superior this high on the list, or even on the list at all, considering that I hate that smugly sack of shit. But that's a different topic. For some reason, I just find Superior to be strangely awesome. Yeah, he's a strange case for me. Now, let me just say that Superior is a good Pokemon, just like most starters are. But let's talk appearance. Superior, to me, looks like a stereotypical snooty monarch. I can just imagine him saying, "Bow before me, peasant." Also, Superior is clearly a snake, and snakes are bitchin'. Alright, let's talk statistics. Superior is mainly speed-based. His speed can reach a maximum of 357. Not the fastest, but still very good. Superior's move pool is also awesome. His type arsenal isn't the biggest, but most of his moves favor its stat arrangements. With moves like Coil, Leaf Blade, and Dragon Tail, he makes for a pretty good sweeper. Assuming you know what you're doing. Yes, I know that I said Maractus was my second favorite Gen 5 grass type, but I worded that wrong. I meant to say third. As far as you know as starters go, he may not be my favorite, but compared to Emboar, he definitely is the superior choice. I love making shitty jokes. Heracross is awesome! Oh, he's so awesome! Sorry for that outburst, but I had to say it. Now, what can be said about Heracross that hasn't already been said? Well, plenty. First off, he's a dual bug fighting type. I can just end it with just that, but that's no fun, is it? No, it's not. Heracross is a giant beetle that condones in horn-to-face combat and can hurl its enemies miles away with one single throw. Kick fucking ass. You might be asking yourself, how can a bug be that strong? Well, if you know what he's based on, you have your answer. Heracross is based upon the rhinoceros beetle, which is, wait for weight, the strongest animal on Earth. A rhinoceros beetle can lift 850 times its own weight. If these exact physics were applied to Heracross, then he'd be able to lift the weight equivalent of 5 Groudons. But, unfortunately, they had to tone his strength down. Bummer. In addition to the unique typing, Heracross has an incredibly high attack stat, the maximum being 383. That's awesome. Heracross also has one of the most diverse move pools out of any bug type. He can learn moves from flying, rock, dark, and even poison types. Kinda makes you think differently about bug types, doesn't it? Well, don't worry. Heracross is definitely not the last bug type on the list. Terrible joke alert! Sorry if that bugs you. Here we come across my favorite Gen 5 Psychic type, Reuniclus. See, this is another reason why I chose White. Each version has their own exclusive Pokemon aside to just the main legendaries. For White, there was the Reuniclus line, which consists of Solosis, Duosion, and of course, Reuniclus. For Black, there was the Gothitelle line. Yeah, it's no wonder White sold more units. Reuniclus is the cooler Pokemon to me, and to many others. While Gothitelle is Gardevoir's emo cousin, Reuniclus is a glowing mass of cells that can grip solid objects with great strength. It's also strange that Reuniclus is known as the multiplying Pokemon. So, let me get this straight. Reuniclus is a multiplying mass of cells? You might as well call him the cancer Pokemon. Well, thankfully, Reuniclus is not an infectious disease. He's more like a great psychic bodyguard. Reuniclus's special attack can reach a maximum of 383, and is also decent when concerning defenses. Basically, it's like Gardevoir, only more interesting and has a cooler move pool. At least to me, anyway. Yeah, next time someone threatens you, just warn them that you have a giant ball of cancer with telekinetic powers lurking in your pocket. They'll be running scared shitless. I know I would. Okay, I know what most of you are thinking right about now. Why the Falconer did you place Kirin higher than Zekrom? Well, here's my answer. I put Kirin on this list because it's just so damn mysterious. Out of all the Pokemon, Kirin is the one we know least about. Through in-game text, we discover that Kirin is in fact an extraterrestrial Pokemon. Supposedly, a meteorite originating from God fucking knows where crashed just a few miles north of Lucanosa town. The impact of the meteorite formed the giant chasm, where the player can catch Kirin in black and white. And if the rumors are true, Kirin is the only Pokemon ever to have actually eaten humans. I'm not sure how much of this is true, but it seems that Game Freak has a lot of things planned for Kirin. Black and White 2 have been recently announced, as you all know, showing his two alternate forms, Black Kirin and White Kirin. And I know for a fact that he will have signature moves, much like his Tau counterparts. How do I know this? Through hacking, two powerful ice types were uncovered, Freeze Shock and Ice Burn. When the hackers did use them, they had interesting effects. Both of them took one turn to charge, much like Solar Beam. Freeze Shock actually managed to paralyze the opponent. It's probable that Ice Burn may have a chance of burning the foe. I think I got it. Freeze Shock may end up being Black Kirin's signature move due to its relation with electricity, and Ice Burn may end up being White Kirin's signature move due to its relation with fire. Very cool. I don't know exactly what Black and White 2 will present, but I'm sure it will wrap up all the mysteries of Kirin, whatever they may be. What do you get when you put Graveler and Sonic the Hedgehog in a blender? In most cases, you'd get a bloody pile of dirt. But here, we'll just say that we get Sandslash. Oh yeah, I finally get to talk about him. Design-wise, Sandslash surpasses even a pie made of holy shit! Sandslash is a shrew completely covered in dirt. Yeah, it sounds pretty lame, but it's not. Trust me. Being a shrew, Sandslash has the ability to utilize poison to defend itself from opponents. This is shown in the games by him being able to use poison-type moves, such as Poison Sting and Poison Jab. Sandslash is a bulky little thing. His defense can reach a maximum of 350. Sure, it's not Shuckle standards, but it's still pretty good. For some reason, Sandslash has always reminded me of the Gorons. I mean, just think about it. It can curl up into a ball and roll around, much like the Gorons. I guess Darunia had a pet shrew and never told us. Hell, if I can get a Sandslash out of it, consider me a sworn brother.
I'm right, ya bit.
On second thought, I better go. God, I love this Pokemon. Just by hearing his cry, you know that Krookodile is just pure win. Now, being a bipedal crocodile who sounds like a guitar solo is all fine and awesome, but there are a few more things special about Krookodile. First off, his typing. Krookodile and its pre-evolutions are the only Pokemon with the typing of Ground and Dark. God, there were just so many awesome typings in Gen 5, wasn't there? Anyway, onto his stats. Krookodile's base stat total is 509. Just like Electros, it's not the highest, but it's still pretty good. Krookodile's ability is also kick-ass, both of them focusing on the attack stat. There's Intimidate, which lowers the opponent's attack by 1 level, the other being Moxie. Moxie boosts the user's attack by 1 level after knocking out any Pokemon. Kick-ass. Lastly, Krookodile's appearance just has that "don't fuck with me or you're going to lose a limb" feel to it. You know? Almost like a rape face. His sprite animation makes it look like he just wants to crush something into bits. Man, I'd love to see Happy Gilmore wrestle this Crocodilian. That would be the fight of the century. Oh man, now we're really getting started. At number 44, we have Arcanine. Yeah, it's Arcanine, bitches! Standing 6 feet tall and weighing 341 pounds, Arcanine is my favorite Gen 1 fire type. Yeah, I said it, sue me. How can anyone not like this big guy? First, let's start with his appearance. It's blatantly obvious that Arcanine is based off a large canine, or more specifically, the Hate, a mythical fire-eating dog with appearance similarities to lions and tigers. See, here's a little secret. If a Pokemon is linked to mythology, you know it's at least worth your time. And besides, who the hell doesn't love dogs? Unless you're a heartless asshole, I'm sure you do. If that wasn't awesome enough, it also breathes fire. Hell yeah! It's so awesome! Oh yeah, I forgot the statistics. Arcanine has pretty damn good stats, with his attack being the highest of all, reaching a maximum of 350. All its other stats are very well rounded. Arcanine's base stat total is 555. Sweetness. Now, here's something very odd. Despite being labeled as the legendary Pokemon, Arcanine is not a legendary by any means, or even a pseudo-legendary for that matter. I don't exactly know why they called it that, but it definitely gives him some well-deserved credit. I have a message for all animal abusers. If you ever ponder a scumbag attempt of beating your poor little puppy, you'd better watch yourself, because Arcanine knows, and he doesn't tolerate that shit. He knows who you are. He knows where you live. He knows your social security number. And he will fuck your shit up. At number 43, we have the spatial deity of the creation trio, Palkia. Back when Diamond and Pearl were first announced in 2006, I took one look at the mascots of each version. I first saw Dialga, the mascot of Diamond. Sorry Dialga fans, but upon first look, I said out loud, meh, that's just not my style. Then, I took one look at Pearl's mascot and holy fucking shit. Now that's more like it. So, needless to say, I chose Pearl as my Sinnoh version. So this probably leads all of you to ask, why do you prefer Palkia? Well, for quite a number of reasons actually. First off, space, I just prefer. Even though time is much more important, space is just something that appeals to me much more. While Palkia's typing isn't as unique as Dialga, he only has one weakness, Dragon. Dialga has two weaknesses, so no thanks. Sure, his typing may be kind of a big fuck you to Kingdra, but at least they did it right. As everyone knows, references are awesome, and Palkia has a very subtle reference hidden in his cry. No, not from the games, from the anime. Let's take a listen, shall we? Did you hear that? Let's hear that a second time. Now, may I ask you, where does that sound familiar? Holy shit! Palkia and the Boga have the exact same cry. Either that's a huge coincidence, or it's just showing respect. Either way, it's just plain awesome. Now, here's a water type that I think doesn't get enough praise. It's the brutish rogue of a crawdad, Crawdaunt. While I utterly hate seafood, Crawdaunt is one crustacean that I have an odd affection for. Crawdaunt is my favorite non-legendary Hoenn water type, by far. Why? Well, Crawdaunt's case is very similar to that of Nidoking and Huntail. Yep, it's one of those Pokemon. It all comes down to petty compliments at this point, but oh well. Alright, let's list off some of the reasons why I love Crawdaunt. First off, he has cool looking claws and a star on top of his head. His appearance just takes the hand and bitch slaps your face, which makes you know that he wants to kick your ass. Right here, right now. Next, his typing is pretty unique. Although the Carvanha line shares the same typing, I still love it. Crawdaunt's attack stat can reach a maximum of 372, making him a strong contender for your hard-hitting team member. Finally, I just do! It's just so awesome! I hate putting a Pokemon on here that I can't explain much about. Get a Crawdaunt! You have to! time to include the massive, dangerous, quadrupedal supercomputer monster on this list. Yeah, I'm thinking exactly what all of you are thinking about right now. It's about damn time Metagross got some attention on my list. Armed with 4 iron legs capable of crushing its opponents, Metagross is among the smartest of all Pokemon, even rivaling that of Alakazam. But unlike Alakazam, Metagross possesses both brain and brawn. And let me tell you, it has a lot of brawn. Enough brawn to make him a pseudo-legendary, and one of the best in that category. Out of all the pseudo-legendaries, Metagross is probably the most unique. For a start, Metagross is the only genderless pseudo-legendary, and also the only one that doesn't share at least one of its types with the other pseudo-legendaries. Being a pseudo-legendary, Metagross has incredible stats. His attack stat can reach a maximum of 405, and his defense can even reach a maximum of 394. These two stat extremes make Metagross the most physically based pseudo-legendary, which is good, because all that power needs some defense to back it up. And if all of these supporting factors weren't enough, there's something more. Weighing in at 1,212 pounds, Metagross is the heaviest non-legendary Pokemon ever. Oddly enough, Metagross's weight is linked to his name. A gross is a unit of duodecimal counting that is equal to a dozen. And just take a look at its weight count. God damn, Game Freak, you are more clever than I ever thought.